All right, this is to I can smell fakeness. First of all, I'm not whining, brother. I'm just stating the simple fact. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered Republican. Have been my entire life. Didn't vote for Trump the first time. I voted independent. Didn't vote for Trump the second time. Voted independent. Voted actually for Harris this time. But the majority of my votes for every election that I've had since I first voted in 1988 have all been Republican majority candidates. So equating me with a Democrat is kind of interesting. That point out of the way. He's only making people follow the law. That's interesting. Because a lot of the immigrants that he's transporting out here that he calls illegal were actually here on legal visas. I know people that were here on visas like the CBP-1 from Venezuela. They were here as essentially refugee status because they were fleeing the cartels and gangs like MS-13 to save their life. He voided multiple visa programs, making these people illegal. Tell me that wasn't a calculated move. Second of all the people he's sending out have higher levels of melanin in their skin. You know, the colors that white folk go to the tanning beds to try to emulate. And I grew up in a very racist family, a very racist home. What he is doing is ethnic cleansing. He's using U.S. troops on U.S. soil, which isn't supposed to be done. And you want to talk about how he's doing great things? Okay. How great is it when you send the Secret Service after an 11-year-old child because they said something you didn't like? That's petty. That's bull. And so it's really interesting to me that you talk about following the law. His mom was an illegal immigrant. Elon Musk became an illegal immigrant when his student visa ran out and he stayed here without any renewal of any papers. Then he gives this gentleman the ability to hack into federal systems on protected information. So unless you're rich enough that you don't need your Social Security and your Medicare, and if you are, congratulations, I would assume that you worked hard for it. But I've been paying into the system since I was 18 years old. I'm eligible in about 7 years to get my Social Security. This man now has control of my financial future in my elderly years. What really amazes me is he told everybody he wanted to be a dictator. He said, I want to be dictator for a day. So I'm going to assume that you missed this in history class. But once a dictator takes position, he doesn't leave. That's the concept of a dictator. He's gutting the CIA, the second most potent intelligence service in the world, to put his own people into it. He's illegally stepping over bounds and eliminating programs that took an act of Congress to make, which means it takes an act of Congress to shut down. He goes after DEI, which Yeah, it protects the LGBTQ, it protects women, it protects minorities, but it also protects veterans. It protects the handicap, you know, so it takes in a wide variety of things. So how does eliminating all of that make somebody uphold the law? He wants to get rid of OSHA. And here's a fact that you may not know, and you can go look it up. Most of the OSHA violations that protect people's life and their wealth and their health care because of their ability to work in safe conditions. Yeah, Elon Musk's companies last year had the highest rate of OSHA violations. I'm sorry, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand why he wants to shut down the OSHA. And before you think that, because I got a farm hat on and I look a little rugged, you do understand that I didn't just fall off a turnip truck, right? So I've been involved in politics all my life. My stepfather was a politician. And so I understand the corruption and how it goes tit for tat. The problem is that Trump already laid all of this out almost 30 years ago. Look it up. It's in a People magazine article. He said, if I ever run for president, I'm going to run as a Republican because they're stupid. Y'all drank the Kool-Aid. There are a lot of Republicans who didn't drink that Kool-Aid. There are a lot of people that voted for him that now have voiced overtly and loudly that they wish that they hadn't. So you're entitled to your opinion. First Amendment gives you that right. And amazingly, the same thing that I said during the Biden administration when they were ranting and raving about people talking about their Christian values and how they didn't want them to, I stuck up for the First Amendment at that point as well. I am a constitutionalist. That paper's for everybody, which I think is really funny when you consider Trump thinking that parts of the Constitution, the amendments that are put in there by special procedure, that you can't just walk in and wipe it out with the stroke of a pen, the parts of it are unconstitutional. Well, guess what? Your elected leaders and your populace thought that those things were constitutional, or they wouldn't be there. So go take a history class. Now, you can go back to your life, sit down, watch a ball game, drink your beer. Just don't make it a Corona or a Modelo because, those are Mexican. And keep wallowing in this whole mire that is worse than the swamp. You have a blessed day. And for all of us, Republicans and independents and Democrats who foresaw all this coming and didn't help put this man in office, we'll see what happens in 4 years. Because I promise you, if he does leave office in an election, it won't be another Republican. Have a great day.